This session is sponsored by Cawley, Gillespie and Associates Incorporated, Petroleum Consultants.
Welcome back, everyone. We're going to visit now with capital providers. The title of this session is Where Have All the Cowboys Gone? We're going to visit first with Brad Nelson. Brad is Managing Director with Simmons. Previously, he was a Managing Director with Energy Capital Solutions, and he began his career with Koch Ventures and with Bear Stearns. Welcome, Brad.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Well, appreciate your time this morning. Again, thank you for having me, and to the other panelists, I look forward to hearing your comments as well. I am with Simmons. We're based in Little Rock, Arkansas. We house our energy practice in our Dallas office, and the family has been around under Simmons Inc. since the 30s. We've been a principal investor in the upstream and OFS and midstream sector since the early 50s. So conventional energy has been a very important part of the family's growth really over the last 6 or 7 decades. Our advisory practice in this kind of form really started growing about 11 or 12 years ago. And you can kind of see a couple statistics and charts there at the bottom part of the page. We've done somewhere around $50, $55 billion worth of transactions. And more relevant to this discussion, we have closed just under 40 transactions representing about $12 billion of capital, both private equity, private debt transactions for private companies, looking to grow. And I would say that working with private companies has been a very high priority for our team. We've always enjoyed working with private companies, trying to help them secure capital to execute their business plans to finance their growth. With Simmons being a family office for going on 9 decades now, we have, had a lot of relationships with other family offices develop over the years and previous decades. And as this page shows, we formalized a family office practice about a decade ago. We have a full dedicated team, if you will, that is dedicated to basically covering private family offices really from coast to coast. I would say 2/3 of those are focused, on the eastern half of the country. But these are sizable families. On average, net worth is probably in the $500 million to $1 billion range. They are active. They've been active in conventional energy as well as other sectors for a long time. And as you can see, we've closed a number of transactions with these groups over the last decade or so. And it's just been a very important part of what we do. And it's been quite honestly, an important part of the capital stack, if you will, for upstream, midstream, and service companies. So I guess I'll start off macro here and then kind of work my way towards what this really means to specific upstream and conventional energy companies. But, a few trends to mention that we have all seen over the last 5 or 6 years, really starting with the bigger picture. These are the publicly traded companies, and the 2 charts that you see really kind of represent the shares traded hands over the last 5 or 6 years, starting in 2014 and going down to where we are here in 2020. The point of that top slide is that in 2020, there were really the same number of shares, publicly traded shares, trading hands as what we saw in 2012 and beyond. So we are at, call it a decade low, and unfortunately the trend is not going the right way. The bottom chart is somewhat similar, and I'll point you to the year 2000 and the year 2020. We're essentially, as an industry, upstream where we were 20 years ago. The overall aggregate market cap is around 600 billion today, and it was about